welcome to Ep.9, Season 2 of The Dave Whitty Show. I'm your host, Dave Whitty. Folks, as always, this podcast is brought to you by Lamb's Rum. Lamb's is one of the top choices for Newfoundlanders who love the authentic, smooth taste. Enjoy Lamb's Palm Breeze today with a splash of Coke and lime wedge, or for something different, try Lamb's spiced on its own on the rocks. Lamb's is the best choice for hard-working Newfoundlanders, and at a great price, find Lamb's Rum at all of your local NLCs. Also, folks, now available are these really tasty Lamb's Sociable. If you're watching online, if you're watching on YouTube, I have them in my hand. Lamb's Spiced Rum Punch Sociables. They are ready to drink, pre-mixed cocktails. I just got a batch of them delivered from my friends at Lamb's and managed to have a couple a few days ago. Super delicious, very, very tasty. Lamb's Sociable, newest ready-to-enjoy cocktail is a spiced rum punch made with a refreshing medley of tropical fruit flavors. Zesty citrus, fresh-picked oranges, crisp pears, tropical passion fruit, and subtle honeysuckle topped with Lamb's spiced rum. Super delicious, great bang for the buck, and really, really nice summer cocktail. So if you're in the market for something like that, try that one out, the Lamb's spiced rum punch. I want to say big thanks to Mr. Justin Hocko of the Outhouse for coming on last episode. I had a great chat with Justin. Super funny dude, very creative guy. It was great to catch up with him and learn about everything he's up to and all the fun things that he's at. So if you missed that one, head on back and give that a listen. It was a really, really good interview and a great chat with Justin Hocko. Got a new episode this week. Absolutely hilarious with Vicky Foley, the one and only. If you are part of the downtown scene here in St. John's, and if you're into the live music scene, you probably recognize Vicky, or you've seen her out to shows. She's an absolute riot, super supportive of the scene, and on top of that, she's also very good at her job. She's social media manager for Son of a Critch, Project 10, a bunch of different bars and pubs downtown. She's very, very smart and super creative, and really, really talented at what she does. So, and she's absolutely hilarious, Boz. Like, it's so funny. She's just a comical human being. And we had a good chat, about 45 minutes or so. And we're chatting everything she does with social media, obviously, and Son of a Critch and all the fun things and cool things that she's up to. But we also got into some fun stuff at the end with the rapid fire questions. So, if you are interested in hearing what's on Vicky's cold plate top 10 list, give that a listen, and you'll find that out at the end. Just announced, I do have a big show coming up June 25th at the Rock House, opening set by Claire Follett. Gonna be a super fun night. Tickets are available now. I said the 25th. Jesus, sorry. It's the 24th. I keep mixing that up. I don't know why. I think I'm used to booking shows on Saturdays, and for some reason I keep thinking that that's a Saturday, but it's actually a Friday night, so it's at the Rock House, June 24th, opening set by Claire Follett. I got the full band playing with me. Peter's back in town, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Tickets are on sale right now. You can head to my website and pick them up. They're just $20. It's probably the only show we're going to play as a band the whole summer. And I keep saying probably because you never really know what could pop up, but there's nothing else booked. I don't have anything else booked. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty crazy summer for me working in film this year. So it's not going to be a whole lot of opportunity for gigs around St. John's. We'll do a few solo things, I'm sure. But with the band, this looks like it's going to be the only one. We haven't played in forever. I mean, we were supposed to do Tibbs Eve. Obviously, that got canned because of COVID. And I really think the last time we got together was maybe last summer, if not Tibbs Eve before that. So really looking forward to a night with the guys and playing some tunes, and obviously listening to the great Claire Follett, who's a former guest here on the podcast. She's opening up the night. Like I say, guys, $20 tickets. You can find them on my website, davewhitty.com, and come on out for a great night. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to that myself. So that's the 24th. The Fog Pirates Softball Club, which is my new softball team. We're back. Started the season a couple weeks ago, playing 2 games every Sunday night. 3-1 on the season. Really happy to be on the field with the boys. What a laugh this is going to be. I think it's Division 5 slow pitch or something, but it's just a ride, getting together with all my old buddies and taking it a bit too seriously. It's a laugh. It's really fun to get out, and it's damn, my legs are sore here today. There's not gonna lie to you about that. Newfoundland Growlers ended up losing. I think last episode we were chatting. They were down 2-0 in the series against Florida there, and they couldn't manage to pull it off, so Growlers end up losing in the third round. Another great season of them. Hopefully they get a rebound season now coming back next year and get everything back in order. I know it's been a bit of a sketchy season just with COVID and fans and stuff like that, but, it's great to have this team in our province and in our city. And, the Growlers are a really, really big economic engine here in the city of St. John's. I mean, when they play, they bring a lot of people to downtown. They fill the pubs and the restaurants before and afterhand. And, it's a special thing to have in the city, and so we got to make sure we get out and support these guys and support the team, and it just does wonders for the downtown. So looking forward to a great Growler season next year, and congratulations on a great one this year. Not much left in hockey here now. As of today when I'm recording, the Oilers got swept in the third round. Colorado's moving on to the Stanley Cup final to either face Tampa Bay or the New York Rangers. Going to be tough to beat Colorado at this point, guys. I mean, holy shit, this team is just an absolute wagon. All of their big guys produced in the game-winning Game 4 game. Edmonton, to me, it feels like they're right there. They've got a lot of pieces of the puzzle. Mike Smith is absolutely trash. He is one of the worst goalies I've ever seen. I just cannot believe the performance from him. I mean, if you were Connor McDavid, you would just want to absolutely. I mean, I can't even imagine what he thinks. I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, just a little tidbit from the game. They're up 3-1 they're up 3-1 in the game, down 3-0 in the series. Lots of probably I think it was the beginning of the third period, and Mike Smith is out carrying pucks around on the sideboards and then throwing out pizzas. I mean, you're not going to win with goalies like that. And it looks like every time they score on this guy, they just think that it looks like it's somebody else's fault, and he's old, and they really got to. They got a great team. They have a really good team. Obviously, Connor McDavid. Draisaitl was super hurt the whole series. So, best of luck next year for the Oilers. I appreciate the Oilers. I think there's a lot of ex-Leafs there. My brother and his family, they all live out in Edmonton. They're all big Oilers fans. So, I like to support the Oilers as well. Tough to see them go down in a sweep. Would have seen like to see a nice series there, but that's how it goes. So, Colorado's on to the Stanley Cup final, and going to face either Tampa Bay or New York Rangers, which has also been a great series. 2-1 right now for the Rangers, and Game 4 goes tonight in Tampa Bay. Blue Jays, since we last chatted here on the podcast, have been on a nice little run. Actually, I think I was doing the math on it yesterday. I think they're like 17 of 21 or 22 or something like that. They have really pulled together some wins, and the pitching's starting to look great, and the bats are starting to get going again. So obviously a lot of baseball left, and but great to see them kind of get back in the swing of things and get the bats going. And it's going to be a fun season for the Jays. Always a blast watching Vladdy and the boys, and really looking forward to some more summer ball, especially with hockey pretty much closing out here soon. George Street Festival, I think. Actually, last week that the festival was announced, or last episode, festival was announced. I might have forgot to get to it, but if you've missed out on it, I'm going to tell you all about the George Street Festival. So the George Street Festival this year, the 37th annual, goes from July 28th to August 3rd here in downtown St. John's, right on George Street there. Thursday they haven't announced yet. I'll be interested to see what that night is going to be. So it's from Thursday the 28th to Wednesday the August 3rd. So on Friday we got Women of Rock with Sam Roberts Band and headliner The Tea Party. That's Friday night. Saturday night is the Newfoundland Kitchen Party. Always a fun day on George Street. A lot of local bands on the bill starting off the day. It's a full day kind of event, and hopefully you get some nice weather on that day, and it's just an absolute blast on George Street. It says here on the website, Celtic Connection and more, and co-headliners, the Mashless Men and the Navigators. So always a blast with those bands, and always a great night to get out and hear some great Newfoundland music. Sunday, also another local night, but kind of a different way. We got Kelly Loader is opening up, and Fortunate Ones, and headliner Alan Doyle. So that's always a blast. I mean, Alan's going to do, I'm sure, some number of his Great Big Sea tunes. Plus, he's got a couple of his own records out now, and Alan's all over the place. He's absolutely a great ambassador for for the province, and Fortunate Ones and Kelly Loader are great artists as well. So that's going to be another great night. Sunday night, nice chill evening on George Street, or you could turn up if you want. Monday, Jane's Party, Snotty Nose Rez Kids, and headliner Arkells. Arkells always put off a great show. I think they've been here the last few years now doing the festival, and they always put off a banger. Even if you're not a huge fan of the band, they just have a really, really great live show. Their live performance is, second to none. I mean, they get the crowd involved. Everybody is super energetic and enthusiastic and very involved in the show. And so that's going to be a great night. Tuesday night, Rum Ragged, Signal Hill, and headliner Shanny Ganook. I mean, this is always a blast. It's always the regatta roulette the night before regatta. For anybody who's unfamiliar with the regatta is the oldest sporting event in North America here in St. John's, and it's actually, I could be mistaken on this. If somebody wants to correct me, by all means, let me know. But I think it's one of the only stat holidays that happen, and it is affected by the weather. And what I mean by that is the regatta is a rowing race, and it's it's a sort of a carnival type atmosphere. It's down on Kitty Vitty Lake, and obviously there's a bunch of boat races, but they have all kinds of concessions and games and all the different stuff going, music and beer tent and all that stuff. But if it's too windy or the weather isn't well enough, they push it to the next day. But if the weather is good, it's a stat holiday for the city, so that's pretty interesting. So that's Shanny Ganook and Signal Hill and Rum Ragged on Regatta Roulette at the August 2nd. And to close out night 7 of the festival is Justin Fancy, Megan Patrick, and Brett Kissel. So country night. It's going to be a great night as well. Lots of great acts there for anybody who's a music lover, and lots of great stuff there. So speaking of George Street, maybe the queen of George Street, I'll send it over to her right now. Next up is Vicky Foley.
Jesus.
And I'd like to welcome the one and only Miss Vicky Foley to the podcast. Vic, move your screen up so we can see your face a little bit more. How about that? There you go.
Deal.
We get that nice Maggie Rex picture in the background.
A little Big Berries on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Vicky, That's right. Vicky, what's going on? Thanks so much for doing this. I know you're busy. You have a lot on your plate these days. I know you're into a new project, your new jobs. You gave up a job, but you got a lot on your plate. So I know you're super busy. So thanks so much for doing this with me today. How's everything going?
Everything's good, man. It's busy. I'm a first-time caller, a long-time listener. I'm really excited to be here.
No, I'm excited to have you too. For anybody who is any part of the downtown scene, I mean, at all, and the local music scene, you probably know Vicky and you've seen her around. She's a huge supporter of local arts and everything that goes on in St. John's. It's too bad there's not more like you, Vic, honestly, because you're one of the best to really support the local artists, and you're really always trying to advocate for artists and make sure they always get what they're worth and all that stuff. So great to have you on. So, but that's not what we're going to talk. We will talk about that as well. Obviously, we're going to talk about everything that Vicky likes and everything that Vicky's into. But we want to get into what you actually do, as your day job and all the neat things that you're associated with. So first off, tell the world a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you came from.
Well, hi, I'm Vicky. I am from St. Bride's, Cape Shore, very small place. I am a digital marketing manager. I promote musicians. I do a little social media. I bartend, but mainly I am a social media manager in film right now, which is a new venture that I went into. Started last year with Son of a Critch, and then the production company Project 10 that creates Son of a Critch, they took me in, and now I am doing it for them too.
Right. So I kind of want to start from the beginning. I mean, growing up in a small town, was this something that you had your eyes on kind of about growing up and doing this, as a full-time job, or what were some of the things or maybe some of the activities that maybe kind of led you towards this field of work?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm only 29, but Instagram didn't exist. Facebook marketing was barely a thing when I was in high school. But I got into it. We were doing a lot of fundraisers with school when we went to Florida for choir, and I can't sing or play music, so my contribution was trying to get musicians together. So in grade 10, 11, trying to get Shanny Ganook, Mashless Men to play at fundraisers in St. John's, and then it just kind of, I went to Fort McMurray for a little while and kind of got out of it, but Cape Shore memes became a thing. I started doing a little bit of that with my friend Tamika and my brother. And watching the analytics of that really brought me into wanting to do marketing and social media.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about so out of high school, you decided to head out west. You went out to Fort Mac for a
Yeah.
while, working in the oil field. What was that like, and what was the reasoning for making the move back to Newfoundland?
Well, I went up there because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like everybody in Newfoundland, you go up, your friend has a job for you. I was making deadly money doing barely anything. I was living to come home. I was coming home 3 or 4 times a year. And then the oil went down drain. So I decided I don't want to keep going back and forth on layoffs. So I said, this is the time. I'm going moving home now. I'm going to school. And so that's what I did.
And then you went to school, and what did you study? You went to CNA, right? College of North Atlantic here in
Yeah,
St.
I
John's.
did. Yeah, business management. I initially went in to do HR, human resources, but I am not a HR person, obviously. But my instructor told me that I had a personality for marketing, and I said, "Well, if you can get me in with Levette, I want to promote Bud Light." And they were like, "Well, we don't know if we can do that." But then I ended up getting a work term with DC Design House, and my first project was George Street Association and Festival. So I kind of lucked out, and I stayed there for 4 years.
And is that
Yeah.
like is some of that stuff? I mean, with DC, and I mean, and working with George Street, was that kind of what give you the drive to kind of really get on board with supporting local and supporting the arts and that kind of stuff, or was that something that's always kind of been natural to you?
Well, I mean, it was definitely natural, like coming out when I moved home was when Mark was starting Rum Ragged. So super excited. Like we went to kindergarten together. So it was all about going to see him and being excited about him and then realizing how much more there is here. Like I did so much work with Music and L and George Street that it just felt like it was right. It was so easy, it was so fun. It was like an actual fun project that didn't feel like work. So yeah, that's how I got into that.
I wanted to ask you. So as of more recently, you taken on the role as social media management for the super popular television show Son of a Critch, which I
Yeah.
mean, for anybody who's listening and hasn't checked this show out, it's written by Mark Critch, who's one of our you know most talented exports of Newfoundland and Newfoundland culture. Basically, a kind of a first memoir on his life, and then he flipped it into a TV show, and the success rate is massive. I mean, I'm sure you see
Yeah.
it, Vicky. Watching the social media and stuff like that. But I is how did that come about? I mean, meeting with Mark Critch, and were you friends with Mark, or how did that interaction
Oh my
happen?
God.
And
I met Mark. We were doing marketing for Victoria Park Foundation, and Mark was on the board. So we had a fundraiser softball game, which I'm not that athletic, and if you watch on Recruit, Mark's not athletic, but he was on my team, and we that was the first time I met him, and that was back in I think 2019, 2018, 2019. Anyway, from there, I we just remained friends, and throughout the pandemic, I seen him around. He would come to the bar sometimes when I was working at Republic, and I was watching some auditions. I was like, "What's this for?" And he was like, "Something coming up." And then he started filming the show. And so then Malcolm McDowell was here, and he wanted Malcolm to hear my accent. So he would take me to lunch with him at the Duke, and we would watch football games in Premier League. And then I brought Mark and a couple of the boys from the production team to George Street Festival. Made friends with all of them. They got me on set as background. We were talking a little bit about what I do. I had a rap party, and a week later, they called me and asked me to do the social media. So it was just made friends with Mark, and we just stayed friends, and here I am.
so let's talk about some of the stuff like that you're involved with what goes on with the social media and everything that you would do, say with Son of a Critch. What are some of the activities and some of the stuff and tasks that you are, especially when the show is ongoing? I mean, you're obviously involved still now because
Yeah.
they're in pre-production right now. I think there's the second season is going to be starting to get filmed soon, so you'll probably be getting ramped up
Yep.
with a lot more work. But
Oh
especially
yeah.
during the show, what's some of the stuff that you're at all the time?
It's so much fun. Like it doesn't even seem like work. Like my job is literally to take this amazing piece of work and just tell people how deadly it is. And there's nothing. It's so good that it does. Like it's just I just go in and say, "Hey, look, watch this. It's deadly." But usually like during the show, there's a lot of like I'll watch the episodes beforehand, kind of pick out the points where I know people are going to go nuts on social media, and then be ready to tweet or post on Instagram. Just a little bit of promo beforehand, take probably the best part after and post about that. And now it's mostly just kind of finding things that are relevant, like May the Fourth be with you, pulling up bits with Mark's Star Wars sheets, or Mark just was like basically an ambassador with the Prince. And so having that part of the show and then getting to see it in real life and just putting those things together, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. It's basically just taking what's happening in the show and trying to find relevant things that are happening now and
Yep.
posting about them.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And now, more recently, as of late, I know you've kind of moved into a bit more freelance, and you've
Yeah.
also started working with Project 10. I hear
Yeah.
there's a funny story about maybe a late night pitch to work with Project 10.
Yeah.
What's the deets behind that, Bick?
Well, it's funny. Everything that I've gotten in film has come from taking someone to George Street. So the boys came here. We had a big finale party. We went to Christian's. We went outside, and I was like, boys, let's work together. Like, I want a salary though. I'm not ready to go on my own yet. So this is what I want. Let me just do this for all your other shows. I'll still keep Son of a Critch. And they were like, that makes sense. So 2 a.m. I said, this is what I want to do. And I went to Dominican. I came back a week later and I got offered the job.
So do you know any of your what your roles with this company will be moving forward? Is there much talk of that yet, or are you just kind of getting started?
Well, yeah, like I kind of wrote my own job description. They're like, well, tell us what you want to do. And so I did it. And then they're like, yeah, we need someone to do that. We don't really know anything about it. So just like kind of take it on your own and go. So I just like, I update the website. I follow all the other shows that we're doing, post about them whenever there's news, because we've got Kids in the Hall now on Amazon Prime. This is Jan by Jan Arden, and then Son of a Critch is ramping up again. But yeah, there's some pretty deadly people to work with. Like my boss Andrew, he has 9 Emmys for Schitt's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I could not have picked a better mentor. And I've never worked in film before. I know social media and I don't know the industry as well as they do, but they know nothing about social media. So together, I kind of just take what they do and celebrate it.
It seems like you're pretty happy in your role and the jobs that you do. I mean, you get a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
not free time, but you get to do your work as you please, which is great. I mean, is that something that you could easily recommend to somebody who may be looking to get into that field
Oh
of
my
work, or
God, yes.
you know what I mean? Like being able to kind of work on your own and pick your own schedule. You're getting your job done, but you get to do it on your own time, kind of thing. It got to be
Yeah,
really
like
nice.
the biggest thing about social media is it's creative. Everything is it's creativity. It's like it's not writing music, but you have to have the punchy captions and the hot photos that attract people. So like it is about creativity. And the biggest struggle that I've had in the last 5 years is trying to put creativity in a 9 to 5. Because if you don't stick it in that 9 to 5, you're taking away your work life balance because you have to work those hours anyway. And then if not, you find yourself you're slow. So now I might get an idea at like 9 o'clock in the night, and so I'll pull out my laptop and do something. But I might not have an idea at 9 a.m. when I just want to like lie on my couch and watch TV. And so like having that flexibility, it makes the biggest difference. Never feels like work. Like I worked on 5 different things the other day, sitting on my back deck, just on my phone. And so like if that can be done, why not just do it? Everybody else is happier, the work is better. And that is definitely a huge part of why I love what I do now, for sure.
Yeah, I think anybody. I mean, I wonder if that, like, a lot of that might have to do with not well, definitely with your job. I mean, it's definitely gives you the freedoms and the allowances to be creative, but
Yeah,
I wonder if COVID is playing a role on a lot of people who are now kind of looking outside of the box, not so much 9 to 5,
definitely.
looking to get the job done whenever the job needs to be done, and whenever you know things strike in your mind that you might want to get done. I mean, it's an interesting way to look at it, especially coming out of COVID, I guess.
Yeah, and like with COVID too, COVID was a big thing for marketing. Like a lot of places, you lost all your work. And a lot of people were like, what's next? But for me, working in marketing, doing websites and online promotion and like digital placement, my work ramped up. Everybody turned their stores into a virtual storefront. So we had to switch everything. All the clients we had, they wanted to be able to sell online. They want to be able to promote online. So while a lot of people were like, what's next? We were flat out trying to get everything in the digital world because like Newfoundland's behind, so we didn't have as much of like that here. So it was like more of an opportunity that worked for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of it. I mean, especially when it
Yeah,
comes down to with COVID, I mean, everybody was just basically spent 2 years looking at screens. So I mean,
exactly.
the
And like
workload had to
everybody's
go up.
sleep schedules messed up too, right? So people were probably shopping online 2 a.m. versus 2 o'clock in the day. So like my job didn't stop at 5. And the work reflected that. And so, it really opened my eyes to, you don't have to be in here 9 to 5. You can work from wherever, whenever, because that's where your clients are, that's where your customers are, and that's where the sales are.
Of course. I mean, especially with social media, because
Yeah.
social media doesn't have a time frame. Not everybody's not on
No.
social media from 9 to 5. People, I mean, you like say you would probably know this, and I've asked you this in the past. I mean, what's some good
Mm.
times to post? I mean, I've asked you all kinds of guidance and help for social
Yeah.
media and stuff like this because what are the best times to post? When are people getting the most activity? When is the most engagement happening? All these things play a huge role in the role of a social media manager.
Yeah, and like that definitely, there is definitely like general times, but you have to, the way I think about it always is, who are you selling to, and what do they do in their free time? When is their free time? So like if you're trying to promote a show, Monday morning at 9 a.m. is probably not the best time because people are like just getting into their work week. But you know what? Wednesday afternoon, when we're just getting ready to go home from work and they're scrolling through, we're like, what am I gonna have on Friday? Oh, Dave Whitty's having a show, so I'm gonna go. Like that. You kind of got to look at it that way. And then, if you have like a longer story kind of piece, when is somebody more lazy on their phone? So they're not on the go. They want to watch like a 5-minute video. Maybe it's Sunday morning, maybe it's Sunday evening versus, Saturday night when they're out with their friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I noticed
Yeah.
that a lot on my own social media trends. I mean, whether you're posting like you mentioned, I mean, if you post a show on a
Yeah.
Monday morning, you don't get as many hits as if you do. Sunday mornings, I find are great for posting on because a lot of people are just lazy, hanging out. They're
Yeah,
probably having a late
exactly. You're in your
breakfast.
bed.
Yep, just hanging
Yeah.
out and just having a late breakfast, chilling with the family or whatever. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Like,
very
what are
very
you doing
interesting.
that morning? Like,
Yeah.
like when I'm on my phone, I'm reading BOCM or I'm reading, like, I might get down a rabbit hole and go read this super long article that I probably wouldn't read on Monday afternoon when I'm just having a quick scroll.
Now
But we're
Saturday,
all scrolling all the time.
not Saturday nights though, Vicky. Saturday nights are for bingo.
Yeah, well, 6 to 7, yeah, I'm a little bit busy,
You're
but
tied. You're tied up on Saturday evenings.
yeah. Now that I have you taught how to play bingo, we're golden.
Well, it's funny, like kind of sidetracked a bit, but I think you've actually
I'm bringing bingo back,
you are
Whitty.
bringing bingo back. Exactly. I was trying to find the word for it.
BBB.
You're bringing bingo back. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
funny. I mean, it was funny, especially like COVID and everything. I mean, it was just
Oh my
something to kind of
God.
look forward to, right?
Everybody was messaging me, where do I get cards? And if I didn't get my card by Tuesday, everybody else had them bought on me. I'm like, why did I bring bingo back? I can't even play myself now.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to talk a little bit about your support for local artists and specifically, I mean, I know you're doing a lot of work lately with specific bars and promotions
Mm.
for artists. So can you talk a little bit about that side of the work that you do? I mean, with regard, especially with bookings and the social media
Yeah.
presence online for different venues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I first moved downtown, that's really when it really got into it because it was so easy to go see your buddies when you don't have to get a $30 cab back to Mount Pearl. And I mean, bad enough that it's Mount Pearl,
I
but
know. Hey,
I had to slip it in there.
this is not a
But
this is
no,
not a Mount Pearl bashing podcast.
oh, as long as we don't get into the hockey, I'm golden, Whitty. I'm glad it's over.
You know what, Vicky? I don't have one question on my whole sheet.
Wicked.
You're the first. I think you might be. I think this might be episode 36 or 37 in total of the whole podcast, and you are probably the first person that I will not bring up hockey with.
Cool, because I never studied beforehand. I usually do before I listen to your other ones. But anyway, back to the music stuff. Yeah. So when I started working at DC, I was working with Music and L a lot and George Street Association. So I kind of got to learn about a lot more musicians than I ever even known of. Like I knew a couple. There was a few bars I was a regular at. But then I started bartending at Republic, and a couple of musicians played there. Then I started getting musicians. I had you play there. I had Mark play there. I probably like 6 or 8 people that never played there before start playing there, and just watching like bringing a crowd in, and like hey, if I promoted it enough in advance and if I posted about it enough and at the right times, seeing people start to show, and then when that person wasn't playing, seeing who wasn't coming, and it got really fun. It's kind of like bartending. Like, how much money can I make after doing just having a laugh? Because that's what it is.
Mhm.
Music is so much fun. It's my favorite thing in the world. So just being able to bring in all my favorite musicians and like say this is a night for me now. Like I'm working, but I get to see my buddies play and they're deadly. So I started doing that with Republic, and then somehow, somewhere through the grapevine, Bridie's reached out to me, which like I love Bridie's, but it wasn't like my regular kind of bar. and it was just before Paddy's Day, and I got COVID like 2 days later. But we managed to get like all the Paddy's Day stuff on to go, and then start booking others. And I brought in Bob McDonald. He used to play at Republic years ago. He's like 65, 70 years old. He plays like all old country. But I said I want to bring Bob in, and that was the first thing I did. And if you go down on George Street at 6:30, 7 o'clock on a Friday, the most people on George Street are at Varieties right now. And it's like, man, there was nobody there for like 15 years. And now that's the place to be on Friday evenings. I was like, well, if I can do that, I can do anything. So now I've been booking like weeks in advance, months in advance, and booking all the musicians. And it's just so much fun. You get to hear so many different things, bartending at the Rock House, every album release, all these people I never heard of. I'm like texting you saying, you should come down and hear this band. And then so many of my friends that are musicians that also, because it's almost like cliques. Like, there's the circle of musicians that we know, and then there's the circles that other people go to. And it's like, you should come down and hear them. And then all my friends are coming down to hang out with me. Plus they get all these new musicians. And then those people start coming to their shows. And so it's just like this big community where everyone just thinks everyone's deadly, and you just support and have fun.
Are you
There's no negativity.
Are you involved in the social media as well for the Rock House? I know you bartend there occasionally on the weekends, but are you involved in the social media as well?
I just started. Yeah.
Okay,
so I just started doing that. I made an Instagram. So go follow Rock House guys, because I only made it yesterday. But
are you in jail? Didn't I see that you were in jail?
If you follow more than 50 people, apparently you get like flagged for spam. Like, come on, man, just let me follow the people.
No, the Rock House is, I obviously do a bunch of gigs there. I've got a big one coming up at the end of the month here. And the Rock House is such an interesting spot. Especially for, I bet you there's so many people in the world, or not in the world, sorry, in St. John's and stuff that, like, they don't even realize what's happening at the Rock House, because the Rock House isn't a venue that it's not your local. You know what I mean? You're not
exactly.
You're not a regular at the Rock House. You know what I mean? You're not a regular there, because it could be one night, it could be metal. Next night is a drag night. Next night it's folk. Next night it's the circus. Like, who knows? It could
or country or covers. Yeah.
There's so many good events happen there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so that's what I mean. And there's so many people that come in the door and are like, I didn't even know this place existed. And now they come to every show. Like, I actually do kind of have regulars now. There's definitely people I see through, like, I work once a week usually, and I probably see some people 3 and 4 times a month. So it's deadly, because it's like it's actually becoming that kind of a regular thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing too much in regards to the bookings. That's obviously Tony's place. Tony's legendary, but we are working together to hopefully get maybe a DJ night in there throughout the summer, just to like widen that demographic and get those kids out of the lineups down at Turkeys and Confusions. Like, why are you standing in a line when there's this huge venue that has a DJ in it with the same drink specials? Like, come on over. So that's hopefully our goal now for the next little while.
No, it is. And it's a big, beautiful room. Great lights, great atmosphere.
And the pub upstairs. Have you seen the pub upstairs? There's like 4 or 5 pinball machines. There's a pool. Like, there's everything in
arcade, there. There's video games. There's all kinds of neat stuff up there. And downstairs is fantastic. Obviously, you got a great sound. They got ease of bars. There's like 3 or 4 different bars there that you can grab drinks at. So it's not, you're not waiting in big lineups or anything like that.
There's at least 3 plus the upstairs one. So it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Coat check everything. It's a wicked venue, and I never really thought about it that way, just because you'd only go there once or twice a year for a big show. But now there's so many different musicians that play there. Like, they had this metal show, and like, I'm not a metal person, but like, I was like, I know this is a good show, even though it's stressing me out, because it's like this screaming music, but so many people were there. It was so loud. Everybody was loving it. I was like, I hate that I'm not enjoying this right now, because everybody's having a great time. So I was kind of having a great time, even though I was like stressed today.
What was the Snapchat? What was the Snapchat you sent me?
Buddy with the jacket?
Yes.
His jacket was a weapon.
The big spikes
sounded like that. Jesus, if he had to like lean over, he would have been killed. He would have stabbed himself to death. Like, imagine a homicide in the middle of the bar.
Oh my God, there's nobody like you, Vicky. There's nobody like you. I wanted to ask you something before. Obviously it's incredible everything you're up to, and kudos for kind of floating on your own. I know you've been thinking about doing that for quite a while, and it's a big step. As an under 30 person, somebody who probably had a job that was pretty secure. It's good, and kudos to you for kind of making that step forward. I think it's only going to bring you nothing but positivity. What are some recommendations that you could probably provide to people, looking to get some more engagement out of social media. I mean, especially, because social media is such a big game these days. I mean, it plays such an important role in everything you do, with even like
everything.
for somebody like myself, especially, it's massive for somebody like myself.
Well, I mean,
but I mean, but for
like
everything.
trying to get ranked.
Exactly.
Like, they want to know now, like, how many followers you have. And like, the only way to build your followers is, to have that engagement and to like, but the biggest thing I think is getting engagement, because social media has become a pay to play, like a massive pay to play. So like, you make a post and say you have 2,000 followers. On average, that goes to 4% of the people that follow you. So like, even though you have 2,000 people on your list, only 4% of them will see it unless people start to like it and comment on it. So the biggest thing I will say, like, even like everybody's posts, because you know what the way it is. If you're liking someone's post, they'll probably like yours too. And like, that sounds so superficial, but that's just the way it is now. It's literally a bidding war. So if you're not paying for ads and you're just going organically, comment and like and comment, share people's things, be good to your buddy and they'll be good to you. The other thing is, in your caption, like, say if you make a post, try asking a question at the end. So if you're giving someone a reason to reply, like if you're posting something and you want, like, what songs do you want to hear tonight, or where do you want to see us play next, or something like that, you'll start getting people commenting. And the more comment, that means that that algorithm changes, and
It's
you
crazy. It is so crazy.
Yeah.
I've
Usually
noticed
what I do, I'll make a post and I'll go like it with all my other accounts. And I have no shame in my liking game. I will go through all of my accounts and go and like the post, because that's 5-6 new likes that gets seen, then that pushes the algorithm up.
It really does.
Like,
It's kind of mind blowing, actually, because I mean, I've seen on certain posts. I mean, if you don't get the proper engagement on it, just say if I post something, it could be about a podcast or a video or anything. It doesn't matter, and you might only get, just say you got 4 or 5 likes, very minimal amount of likes on it, and just a comment or two. I mean, you can go in and look literally at your analytics and your statistics, and you can see that this has not reached. It's only reached a very small percentage.
I posted the picture yesterday, and it reached 346. And I posted a picture last week that had a lot of engagement on it, and it was seen by like 2,000 people. So it's funny, like, how that works.
No, sorry.
Yesterday was just a picture of Newfoundland. We're not getting into the rest of it.
No, that's great. So what's on the schedule here now for Vicky Foley? What's coming up here in the next 6 to 8 months kind of thing?
Oh my God, who knows? The sky's the limit. But we start filming Son of a Critch in July. And so the beauty of not having a 9-to-5 job is I can go to set, and I can make some like daily old reels and TikToks, and really getting more involved in the show, and then where Project 10 produces it, so I can get content that relates to the production side and to the fans of the show. So that's super fun that they're tied in. Other than that, I mean, who knows what's going to go.
And you can find you at the Rock House occasionally.
Oh, yeah, like Thursday and Friday night this week, Buzz wants to come out. But yeah, usually I'm there once a week. But also, like, 6 months ago, I had no idea that I was going to work in film. I just started with Son of a Critch in November, December. So like a year ago, this show didn't exist. I had no idea I'd be in TV. I'd never even thought about being in TV. I mean, like, my dad's a crab fisherman and my boss has a Golden Globe. Like, why is life, right? Like, how does that even happen? You don't even think that could be a dream you could achieve. So like, sky's the limit. Who knows? If anyone needs a social media person, like, what are you at?
Yeah, exactly. And that just led me right into my next question. For anybody who may be looking for some social media help or just to have a chat, because you're always up for a chat, you're always eager to help and all that stuff. So where can folks find you too online?
Yeah, you can find me at Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, but like, who cares about Facebook? I'm Miss Vic on everything. Miss_Vic_ on everything. And like, even if you don't want to pay me, like, I love talking about marketing to a point that it is embarrassing and like annoying. And like, if you're not into it, then you're gonna get sick of me. But like, if you do have any question about marketing, I love talking about it. I die for it.
And regardless of all of the marketing advice and all that, you're a good follow anyways, Vic. You're always a good laugh on social media. You really know how to run that machine for sure.
Yeah, my Twitter is a great time, I must say.
I've been doing this thing. I'll for this season where I acquire some rapid fire questions. It's not like you know how it goes. It doesn't have to be rapid fire. You don't have to answer in
I
boom a
know.
boom.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You better
But
have good ones for me.
I've got 9 or 10 questions put together for you, and you know they're just kind of meant to kind of see who the real Vicky Foley is. So let me get them up over here.
The
And
real Vicky Foley is right here. Like,
no, I know,
that's all you're getting.
and they're not crazy. They're only a little bit foolish. So and just to kind of get a little know a little bit about you. All right, are you ready for the
All right,
rapid fire
let's
question
go.
segment with the one and only Vicky Foley?
Come on, Whitty.
Question one, Weedy. Oh man. So anybody who's like listening, Vicky is a huge supporter of the arts. I mean, she's always down watching shows, and it's no sweat to be playing somewhere and big crowd of people on the go. Can't see Vicky, but you can hear her. Weedy.
Listen, I've calmed down a lot. But
You have. And you're not bad. Geez, listen. I honestly, I wish there was more people out there who supported the way you did, because you're one of the best in that sense. I mean, I already pumped your tires on that, but it's you know, it really is it's worthwhile noting for sure. Absolutely. All right, let's get into rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If you could only listen to one record for the rest of time, what would it be?
Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run.
Okay, that was a quick and easy one. Number 2. Who is the ideal client that you would work for if you could pick?
Of anybody?
Anybody in the whole wide world.
Oh, okay. Not for ease, but like a Kardashian, 100%. But Son of a Rich, man, it's literally the best. There's never anything negative. It's just all celebration and all deadliness. So any client like that. But like, if we want to go big wild dreams, and if they weren't like ridiculous to deal with, definitely Kardashians.
Okay, right on. What's your favorite spot to go eat with your father?
Oh, with my father, it's definitely Chase's. Even though it's not my favorite, it's just we only goes to Chase's or Donovan's Irving, so Chase's.
And occasionally the Keg.
Oh, and the Keg. His 2 favorite restaurants are the Keg and Donovan's Irving, in that order.
All right, I got a really tough one for you coming up here. All right.
Okay.
Gigi or Rustin?
Okay, Gigi's my girl, but Rustin, you know, like he's best kind. But Gigi, 100%. Seeing loves both of them, but tiny posts for life, even though she's obese.
Yeah, she's a thick cat. There's no doubt about
You
that.
see her?
Yeah, it's
Come here, G, come say hi. Gigi, you're king size. Seeing fat shaming me cat on TV.
TV. Oh my god. Obviously you're obviously heavily involved with Son of a Critch, and you watched all the episodes, obviously.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one, what would be your favorite episode of season 1, Son of a Critch?
Oh,
and you can't be the one that you were in.
No, it's not the one I was in, although that's a good one. You can see my face. But it's the one when Mark has his first seizure. And all hands ends up going to the hospital, because also the cat that's in that, Misty, is actually Sid, the cat from downtown.
Right.
And casting from Toronto called me because Mark told him I had a cat for the show. So I actually cast Sid the cat in that episode. I kept the voicemail forever and I lost it. But yeah, Vicky, they actually left me this huge voicemail saying, Mark says that you have a cat to cast in the episode. And the cat's name is Misty. But
sometimes I really just think that you cannot shock me anymore. And then you shock me with a line that you cast the cat for Son of a Critch.
I did, I swear to God.
I believe you. It's just hilarious. Oh my God. All right. Moving on to the next question. Would you rather cod tongues or moose sausages?
Moose sausages. Hates cod tongues.
Oh, go away.
The moose sausages that we had to winter, they were the gear.
That's a good batch. You got to get me another group of them for sure.
Southeast Placentia makes them. They're deadly.
Shout out.
I don't know his name, but I give him a plug.
Okay. I want to hear your top 3 favorite local artists to go see in St. John's, and don't say me. Don't pump my tires. Say anybody else. But
I would say Dave Whitty, but he tech, yeah. Bob McDonald, Mick Davis, and usually it's Whitty. Oh, Freddie Jorgensen, man, because he always does the Inspector Gadget when you're up there.
You can't go wrong with those artists, that's for sure.
Freddie's the best back.
Yeah, I would imagine if I get Freddie. I wonder if I get Freddie on the podcast. I don't know if he.
Oh my God, he would never do it.
I don't think he'd take to it, but I don't think he'd
He'd
take
say,
to
"Do I owe you money?" And that'd be it.
All right. You ready for this one? Here's the real tough stuff here now. Would you consider yourself a Bayman or a Townie?
See, that's up for discussion. I think I'm a townie now because all the Bayman says I'm a townie, but all the townie says I'm a Bayman. So I think I'm just a mixed breed. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I am bisexual. Is that what it's called?
Bisexual.
Or bay curious.
Bay curious. Nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's me.
If you could play one instrument, what would it be?
Oh, the mandolin.
The mandolin. What?
Yeah, I'd have a keen time on the mandolin. It's all twinkly.
Oh my God. Okay, and the last question of the rapid fire. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll throw it in there. I'll give you two more.
Okay.
Is it a cake or is it a bun, Vicky?
It's a fucking cake. And I'm cursing. It's a cake. All you people, a Joe Louis, a Half Moon, a Flaky, cakes. And all you can argue that a Flaky's a pastry, but the rest of them are fucking cakes. It says so on the backs.
Nah, they're buns. They're buns. Sorry.
They're not buns.
It's a bun.
You put butter on. It's not a bun. Bun has a cold plate. You don't. It's a cake.
Oh, that's a good question. What is your ideal cold plate, Vicky?
No one on this side of Paddy's Pan knows how to make a cold plate. So the best ones are at the Pointlands Garden Party, and it's beet salad, macaroni, potato salad, no onions in the potato salad, and the Bax macaroni, like that green Bax macaroni salad, not that cheesy stuff. Nice ham roll, bit of fresh turkey, good dressing, cranberry sauce, and no fuck the lettuce and tomato. And a mustard salad. Nobody wants that mustard salad. Like, it's rotten. It just stains everything. Just like the beet, but you put up with the beet.
That's right. I like beets, man. Nothing wrong with beets. Beets.
Yeah, I like beets too, man. Let the beet drop.
All right. So I got one last question for you. You're 29 years old. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Where's Vicky see herself? Are you still going to be up in the perch?
I'm sure I'll have a house back by then, but I'll miss my perch. The perch is life. I think I'll probably still be in town. I don't want to move out of St. John's because it's deadly. So this will be my home base. But who the hell knows, man? Like, I'll be everywhere.
Yep.
Maybe I'll be in like Disney World. I don't care. Wherever. I'll go wherever I'm supposed to go.
You could be.
5 years ago, 5 years ago today, I graduated from CNA.
And look where you are now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what I mean, man. I never thought any of this. I didn't even know what an agency was 6 years ago. And I'm done with my agency chapter now. So I'll literally go wherever.
Well, listen, Vicky, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. What a treat to get to chat with the one and only Vicky Foley. Folks, if you're looking for a laugh, follow Miss Vic online. And I mean, if you're down around, go say hi to Vicky, and you're sure to have a good laugh because you're one of the best, Vic. Thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate you taking the time today. It's a real treat to get to chat with you.
I love this. Thank you for not bringing up the cabbage. We did good. My first podcast. We did it.
I think you just brought it up. I think I have to talk about it now.
No, you don't. Listen, there's only 3 minutes left. So
2 minutes. We got 2 minutes and 55 seconds, guys. If anybody needs a good laugh, listen. If anybody wants a good laugh, how can I say it? How can we find it online?
If you Google Breaking Ground St. Bride's, but you have to fast forward to the last, but it's also on Cape Shore memes. And I'm 15, my hair is yellow, and it says that it likes how big and soft the cabbage is and how nice the potatoes are. My father was selling vegetables, and it was like a Piper's version of Land and Sea. It was called Breaking Ground on Eastlink. And they kept me in, they asked me like 10 questions. And that's the part that they decided to add to the episode, is me saying that cabbage was big and soft. Yeah,
you got to look it up. It is honestly, it's like a Newfoundland heritage moment. Like, it's absolutely.
My poor old father, very proud of the video, and all hands viewing it just to hear me say soft cabbage.
So once again, it's breaking. What is it? Breaking Ground?
Breaking Ground St. Bride's, yeah.
Guys, go look up Breaking Ground St. Bride's on YouTube, and you definitely know where it is in the video. Well, how long into the video is it?
It's literally the last like 10 seconds.
The last 10 seconds of video, you'll see a young Vicky Foley talking about how big and soft the cabbages are, and it is truly phenomenal. It really, really is. Thanks so much, Vic, for doing this today. You're the best. God love you.
Thanks, David. Peace
All right.
Blessings.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you soon. All right, cheers.
Yes.
Huge thanks to Vicky for coming on. Probably one of the funniest people on the go. But I mean, I do nothing but laugh at Vicky. She is so comical. She's so herself. I mean, you just can't help but laugh. She is the quickest person on planet Earth. There's nobody quicker on planet Earth to come up with one-isms and funny stuff. Absolute laugh. And like I mentioned, during the interview, huge supporter of the arts and everything local. So thanks so much for Vicky for coming on and spreading the good word of all the social media goodness and all that good stuff. That about does it for me, guys. I'm going to give my show another plug just in case you're still listening. June 24th at the Rock House. It's going to be a big night. Nick Earl, Peter Green, Dan George backing me up. Opening set by Claire Follett. Probably the only gig for the summer. So you can get your tickets now at www.davewhitty.com or head to the Eventbrite or any of my social media. You will find a link to buy some tickets. So hope to see everybody out for that one. It'll be a great kickoff to summer, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Big thanks to my sponsor, Lambs, as well. I want to throw in another little punch out to the Lambs spiced rum punch. These things are absolutely awesome. Ready to drink cans. They are super, super tasty. I cannot wait for a nice hot day to toss a few of these back. I had a couple on the golf course. Another great little drink for the golf bag. Absolutely incredible to be just to sip a couple back, and very, very tasty. So big thanks to Lambs for jumping on board again for this podcast, and make sure you grab these guys, these Lambs spiced rum punch. That about does it for me, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and follow me on all my social media channels if you wish. At Dave Whitty on Twitter and Instagram, and of course Dave Whitty on Facebook. And that about does it for me, guys. From downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, I'm Dave Whitty. Peace.